Well, it's October 11th, 2012, and I decided I wanted to make a recording of my maze so I don't ever forget this incredible time. It just stopped raining, so everything looks really, really beautiful, crisp and clean. I'm a little sad, because no one's really doing any maintenance on my maze, and I got sent back to park decorating, so I'm actually not allowed to do any work on it now that it's up. But anyway, so this is the outside statement. It's the vampire goddess playing her viola. This is a gargoyle that Jess Shattuck from Park Decorating was nice enough to let us use for our entrance statement. This is actually not the sign for the maze, but a photo op that was created, that I designed, so merchandise would have a way to make a little extra money, have people take a little photo before they go inside. But it ended up being the sign because we started cutting things. This is the outside of the maze. It's got a pagoda with a musical sea waves motif up at the top. I'm going to walk back a little bit to see if maybe you can see it. The gentleman in the scene shot that created this piece of carpentry did an absolutely amazing job. And I picked a color palette so it would still look good with the exterior of the warehouse and the creams. Okay, so as you enter the night gallery, the Vampire's Night Gallery, you see what's called a hero piece. This is a hero painting of a quartet with some architectural detailings of pillars on the side and the top. Basically, I designed this because I knew there was a certain gentleman in the shop named Andrew that would be able to create this. And part of the reason that this maze looks so architecturally amazing and off the top is because of the staff in the shop that I knew would be able to execute such a detailed design. So the whole premise of this maze is it's opening night of a gallery show, and the owner of the gallery as well as the artist are all vampires. So they are using the setting of a gallery and a gallery opening to lure in humans to then have them for prey. Here's another piece of architectural detailing in one of the art nooks. It's designed after the scroll of a cello. You can kind of see the detail there. There's a painting inside this nook, but it's a little dark, so you can't really see it. Here's another art nook with a sculpture in it, vampire sculpture. I can tell it's a little dark too, but it's kind of got a modern art feel. So, so besides the art luring in the humans, also the music, because for the gallery premiere, a quartet has been hired, and of course the quartet is all composed of vampires, and so they're seducing humans with their beautiful music. We're paying tribute to the original Dominion, which I also worked on in 1995, and we featured Lisa Gerard's Host of Seraphim as the music, because she was like my favorite musician at the time. So we had that same music in the new Dominion, 2012, except I've hired this wonderful friend of mine, Greg Adamson, to then do custom cello work over the Host of Seraphim, Lisa Gerard's Host of Seraphim, to then tie in the new theme with the old theme. So this is what I'm calling the quartet area. It's a gazebo style, and there's a quartet of vampires in there playing at nighttime. Got all these wonderful music stringed instruments from one of Greg Adamson's stores, so you can see a white cello right there. So I got really lucky. Right here is a painting I did of Greg. He was nice enough to not only do the music, but also let me take a bazillion photos of him so I could have art reference. Now we're going into another area, which is called the storage area. It's basically all the paintings that didn't get finished and old paintings from the original Dominion. And this is meant to be just a little bit creepy, so guests start to get the feeling that maybe this isn't such a safe environment after all. We've got all kinds of little hidden scares in here, little pop-outs and Pepper's Ghost. And we've got humans or vampires that look like sculptures that pop out. So here's a whole bunch of paintings that didn't get finished this year, but they're still kind of cool. We just put them in as is. So this is a little storage area. And you can see the interesting details of the rafters, cast interesting shadows, as well as the paintings from the original Dominion of the Dead. So as we exit this human area, this is what I call the liminal stage, the transition area into the area that was safe for humans, now into the vampire world. So this is the dark courtyard. You can pan back and see. So it's got like a dead garden feel to it. And this is where the scary vampires are now hiding. They're hiding down below in these pop-out nooks that we designed into the subflooring. And there's also some female vampires that are done up to look like sculptures. And so here you can kind of see the ones that are mannequins. And then there's a talent that's done up to look exactly like one of these sculptures. This was probably the most intricate piece of drafting that I did. It took me, I want to say, about 2 weeks to design this. It's not any style of architecture because it was inspired by vampires and the sea waste of a cello. So I was really excited to do this because it's not actually where designers and drafters usually get inspired by time periods. This was actually inspired by something that is more surreal, something that's in the mind. Like if vampires were to create architecture that is inspired purely from their world, it shouldn't look anything human. So that's the entryway into what I've called the inner sanctum. Inner sanctum is a very abstracted area, then has any kind of straight lines are now distorted and twisted because this is their world. It's not created by humans. It's created by vampires, for vampires, using shapes and colors that are appealing to them. This is a victim, beautiful cellist that never made it out alive. And she basically became the figure study for a vampire. There's what she looked like when she was alive. There's the little artist palette area. Looks like it's a little dark to see some of the details in these paintings, but the inspiration was a Leonardo da Vinci style sketchbooks. In other words, these are random pieces of artwork that vampires have created, exploring their art without restriction and restraint. They're inspired by everything dark and terrifying. Once again, some more angles. Here's another one of the musical instruments. It looks like everything in here is a little bit dark to show up photo-wise, but I'm doing my best here. So basically the premise in here is distorted angles, very dark, but very clean still. Not dirty vampires, clean vampires. And once again, the music here has a little more techno feel. With the cello and the Lisa Gerard Horse of Seraphim. Greg did some interesting recordings in here that we utilize to, give it that more chaotic chaos feel. There's a little sculpture there. Yeah, most of this looks like it's not really coming out because it's a little dark, but this whole inner sanctum area basically is the dark world of the vampires. I'm going to go through this kind of quick. We got a flying vampire over here, but you can't really see it. So this is their dark, chaotic world with crazy angles and chaotic music. Ugly vampires versus beautiful vampires. This isn't an area of seduction. This is where humans come to die and become food, or to become living pieces of art for the vampires. Well, anyway, this is, like I said, you can't really see everything because it's a little bit dark in here, but this is the maze that I got to work on for the 40th anniversary of Knott's Scary Farm anniversary year, and I feel very lucky. This is the 4th vampire maze I got to work on. This was my baby, start to finish, whereas other things were a little more collaborative. This was pretty much so. I was really lucky. They kind of let me do whatever I wanted, and I was really inspired by strings and classical music and an art gallery feel, and I'm very fortunate that they let me go ahead and create that vision. So that's the maze, and thanks a lot. 2012, October 11th.